Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everyone. Today, inshallah, we will start our course lecture and we will talk about Microsoft Power Platform. We will know what is the Power Platform and what are the features that the Power Platform offers. Okay? And we will know also the four components that make up the Power Platform which are the Power Apps: Power BI, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent. Then we will know the cost of the Power Platform and what is the license that I need to use the Power Platform. The Power Platform is basically a platform whose main goal is to create the business application without code or without very little code, which means that most of the business applications are based on drag and drop. When you're gonna use this drag and drop, it will be mostly easy than writing codes. The Power Platform consists of the four main projects: Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, Power Virtual Agent. So its goal, this is the goal actually, it is to reach without going back to the developer or data science. So project, low code, no code platform, and the Power Platform extends through Office 365, Azure, Dynamics 365, and standalone applications. And the Power Platform consists of the four main products, which are the Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, and Virtual Agents, combined under one umbrella, which is the Power Platform. I made this order for the products so that it goes in a sequence, that each product gives the rule to the next product so that the four products will complement each other. As we have noticed, the technology is changing every day, and there is always constant development. And the basis of work in companies and institutions is data. So this data grow very fast. So for my reasons, I turned to Microsoft to work on the Power Platform. Now institutions can compete with each other through the low code, no code. For example, you can develop application through Power Platform, which capture the data and builds an application with it without code or with low code. Then if I want to automate my business, for example, I do a workflow, then here comes the rule for Power Automate. So if I want to do data analysis, for example, it will be through by Power BI. With time, they wanted to remove the human elements for the subject and make all applications self-services. So the idea of the chatbots came through the Power Virtual Agent. Chatbot, in short, is an artificial intelligence program that can do a conversation with a user in natural language to interact with the end user. Such four components are gathered in one place called the Power Platform. So it is not only the four components; they also have 100 of connectors that can be used. Also, the Power Platform integrate with the AI through the AI Builder. Also, in the Power Platform, there is a connectivity, which is a Dataverse, which come gather the database from different sources in one place. So that for component of the Power Platform can be used on one basis, which is Dataverse. We will talk in detail about all these terms. through the course. So let's say this is we will talk in detail about each product, and each product we will have its own details. Let's start with the Power Apps. That's why it is called Power Apps. Power Apps are application. I use it in the work of the application, and these applications are not only for mobile, they also work on any device, whether it's mobile or web. So you can run it from anywhere with any device like mobile, smartphone, tablet, laptop, wherever, any kind of device. And this is provided apps in a particular, its rule was to allow the regular user, even if he doesn't have a programming background, to create application with the Power Apps. And this was main reason for the creation of the Power Apps. Okay, so at the time, they were going to increase the demand for app developers 5 times more than the number of the developers that go out to the labor market. And in special part of the apps, so they tried to overcome this issue with the idea of the Power Apps, that the regular end user can create the apps he need. We will the Power Apps aim is to get interact on the data, and at the same time it's provided many process like the number of the templates that I can use without having any experience in the Power Apps. And as we said, the skills of the regular Microsoft Office Melt also the Power Apps provide a visual designer to automate the work of loads, and through it I can transform my manual business process to automated business process. I can use it in data uh, uh, visualization, reporting, and collaboration. The Power Apps is relatively new. Was the public preview of the Power Apps in April 2016, and before that, it was released in 2015 in the private preview. So at the time, they were inviting users to try the Power Apps until they announced the ability to use the Power Apps for all users in April 2016. We will after made our apps and collected the data. We may need some automation, like we converted our manual data to business data. So the manual data process that we used to do, we want to automate them, and it can be done smoothly without any interfaces. So here come through of the second product, which is Power Automated or Power Flow. Its name is Power Automate. It is responsible for the workflow between the apps and services. And for example, if you have a series of repeated process, so like the approval system, here you can run the whole approval cycle with the Power Automate. Another example, for example, if we need to send the email regularly, for example, the weekly updates it of sending the email every time and wasting time. We can do it with the Power Automate. It collects that things it wants to do and sends the email and so on and so on. And any process is done in a series. I can run it with the Power Automate, and not only this done on the task that are done on the personal level, but it also done when the level of the whole institution. And this is the and this is done through a simple and easy way for any user who can use it, from the beginner developer to the professional developer. Now I have converted my business apps and automated process for all process that I want on my data. I want to benefit from this data, for example, in making decision, and I want to do statistics to make it easier for me to make a specific decision. Depending on this data, here I have the third product, the Power BI. The goal of the Power BI is to convert the unrelated data, and that is in more than one source of data to interactive statistics to make it easier for us to make decision based on the information and the report in front of me. And we can also share this statistics with members of institution or even outside the institution in the Power BI. There are no specific limits to data that I will deal with. For example, the data that I need may be in an Excel file or in database or in data warehouse or in Dataverse, and through the Power BI, I can connect the existing data in hundred of different sources and get it out in one form of information to help me make decision. Of course, I present this information in a form of statistics to make it easier for the user in a form of reports and statistics for the dashboard, and it is done through secure system. Here is the Power BI makes you focus on using the data more than its management, because it's provide you, as we said, a secure system for your data. So all you have to do is to focus on how to use the data you have. So um, you can use it in a forum of statistics or reports to make it easier for you to make a decision. Therefore, we conclude from this that the Power BI is the analytic leg of the Power Platform. It takes this business that I have and allow me to turn it into an easy forum for the user. That's why you can find a dashboard made with Power BI. So that solves of specific social situation. For example, if we assume that a meeting is held permanently in a company just to submit reports on sales data, for example, or to see how the company's progress has been in terms of the goals it has set. Okay, is everything going well, or is there is a flaw in the matter? So all this can be done in minutes by turning the dashboard Power BI into a visual image with chart and also an interactive image. You can change the dashboard based on the data I choose. We can solve this social situation that takes a lot of time, and we spend a lot of time collecting data. So the Power BI solves this issue for us. In summary, we can say that the Power BI is what I do with analysis, visualization, and sharing of data little bit by little. So they want to eliminate or limit the role of human resources so that there is no human elements in Meter. Then came the idea of the virtual agents, which include automates to help the clients and employee. We can create bots through a guide graphical interface just by working on it without the need of writing a guide. In addition, you can duplicate the chatbots on a website or on a bot for free market channel. So integrate them on Power Apps. Thus, we note that the goal of the platform is to reduce the size of the code, and sometimes it's completely empty. That's why we call it a low code. Let's go back to the first structure of the Power Platform, we will find three things like Dataverse, connectors, and AI. What is their relations with this? For example, Dataverse is a place where the user can store his data and deal with it. It makes it easier for us to store data from multiple sources and manage it safely. This data is what the business application do for the user. Dataverse is a shared edge between all products in the Power Platform. They are all gathered in one place, which is the Power Platform, and they work together on one thing, which is the Dataverse. For example, I can create an application that gather data from different sources and store it in Dataverse. I can create automated workflow on it and can also analyze this data and use it in in dashboard. We will find that is it is able to make all product work together from one basis, which is the Dataverse. The reason that makes us say the Power Platform is a good direction for Microsoft is not only because it's a low code, no code platform, but also because it is able to be benefit from data in different systems in one place. We will find that the Power Platform does this through connectors. Connectors is the link between my user interface of the workflow and the data I use. I use connectors a lot in Power Apps and Power Automate, and I have built-in connections that Microsoft allow me to use and connect the data that I want. For example, if I want SharePoint, I will find the connectors for SharePoint. If I want to connect SQL, I will find connections with SQL name. If I want to connect it to Dataverse, I will find a connector for the common Dataverse. LinkedIn, Twitter, Gmail, and others will find connectors for each one of them, and we will find the connectors increase in similar way every day. And we will find that the connectors always increase in addition in the built-in connectors if they are not enough or allow if I want to use something that is not available in them, I can make the custom connector and I can connect the custom connector to any data source that is not available in the Power Platform through the built-in connector, or the public connectors are as well. We call I can make the custom connectors in more than one way. I can create from scratch. I can create it from the Azure service. I can create it from the Open API file, or if I have an Open API URL, or I can create custom connector from the Postman collection or from GitHub. This all for the for the connectors. We will also find the third element with us, which is the AI inside. Either way, interacting with the data that comes from the Power Apps or automate that is done by Power Automate or data analysis to help you make decision through Power BI. And finally, using Power Virtual Agent, the next lecture will be about the basics of the Power Apps. If you have any question about the Power Platform, please write down the video and leave your comments, and I will get back to you on the answer. Thanks for watching. See you soon.